Hour 2 of the program, ladies and gentlemen. The radio equivalent of 466 yards passing. 466 is 466. What else needs to be said, Tua? What else needs to be said, dude? Let's get to some headlines brought to you by the new Palmetto Ford Truck Supercenter. Why buy your truck at a car store? Palmetto Ford.
We know trucks.
Thursday night football tonight. Football is back.
Yep.
Vikings and Eagles tonight at 8:15. Amazon Prime.
I would have felt a little bit differently about this game if the Vikings would have beat Baker Mayfield. Now I think it's going to be a bloodbath.
You think
Eagles didn't look that great Sunday?
They did not
against
look
the Pats.
great. They did not look great.
But you cannot look great and win.
Mm-hmm.
It's easier to fix things when you win. When you lose, people start pointing fingers, right? And so, no.
Plus, there's a enemy unlike any other tonight for one Kirk Cousins.
Who?
Oh, prime time.
Prime time. Kirk Cousins.
Is it prime time though?
Yeah, it is prime time.
It's Thursday night prime time,
bro.
Yeah, dude. It's
Thursday night is prime time
if
now.
the sun sets,
he's like the
He
opposite.
turned.
He's like
He's
the
Dunzo.
Pumpkin.
He's like the opposite of a werewolf.
1 p.m. games, very good.
Balling. He balling.
Look at the numbers he put up. I mean, look, if you looked at the numbers he put up against the Buccaneers, 33 for 44 for 344.
Yep.
Did they ever go over that in quarterback? Like why he's not good at night?
I don't know. That's a good question.
I wonder. I don't know.
But he can't win at night.
He can't win at night.
Really?
Yeah.
I wonder if I ever had that.
Where you just weren't as good at night?
I don't know if there was a place. I don't know. The only place we struggled with when I was playing football, we couldn't beat Pittsburgh, but they were really good. I'm just trying to think, is there a time when I didn't play? Well, because keep in mind, man, when you play college in the Midwest, your games start at like 12 o'clock.
Big noon.
No, I'm going to say 11. No, 12 o'clock.
Big noon.
Yeah.
It's
so it's a little, I don't know. I can't think, because you know what? I think it's a little different for a running back because you can get hit anywhere. So you better get your mind right.
Well, tonight, Eagles hosting the Vikings, Lincoln Financial Field. Philadelphia is a 6-point favorite tonight.
6-point favorite at home?
Yep.
That's shocking.
That is pretty low.
You think it should be more?
I think it should be at least 6.5, maybe 7.5.
I don't know, man. I don't know. The Eagles weren't very impressive last week.
But
I think it's gone down.
Too. Again, I'm going to say this. It's really hard with as little football as everybody plays in the preseason to go there this quick. You know what I mean?
It's one of the bigger spreads this weekend. The biggest favorites.
Anybody playing Arizona?
The G-Men.
The Giants. And the Giants it's a giant. They're a 5.5-point favorite.
Wait, so let me get this straight.
On the road.
Hold up. Let me get this straight. A team, there's only one in all of the NFL who has not scored a point.
Yep.
In this football season.
Yep.
Is favored over somebody by 5.5
on the road.
On the road?
Oh, Trevor from Miami said they opened up.
Wow,
I think I'm gonna go ahead.
Sounds like you got to take Josh Dobbs then.
Huh?
You got to take Josh Dobbs.
I did sign him. I don't know if I can add him. Did I add him?
If you don't have to, it sounds like you got better options if you got.
I don't, because here I can put him. Here's where I can put him. I can put him in place of Rashad Penny, who's the running back for
the Eagles.
For the Eagles, sorry, yeah, same thing. And I can use him as my other quarterback. Should I go quarterback? I should go quarterback over running back, right?
Who's your running backs?
My running backs are Christian McCaffrey.
Not that quarterback.
Deonta,
Not that quarterback.
Yeah. No, this is he said who's my running backs.
Oh.
I know you got McCaffrey, but you got Foreman.
I got Deontay Foreman, who's and
he's just scoffing because of the
David
name.
Montgomery.
So you got both Bears running. Wait, you got a Bears running back and a Bills running back?
I got a Bears running back and a Chicago running back.
So you got two. So you handcuffed yourself with Bears running backs.
No, I just have
He
one.
did that last year with the Cardinals.
What do you mean?
You loved Cardinals last year. You took like a bunch of Cardinals. I didn't understand it. I was very confused by it.
I see. Here's how I do fantasy, and it's not necessarily the right way, but my thinking is pretty on point with this. I look at teams who are gonna struggle in certain areas, and they're gonna lean on certain guys, right? So you a team that's gonna be terrible, if they have a veteran quarterback, I'm gonna pick that Luter in the riot. Because he's going to throw 50 times and always be down and get a lot of yards and stuff like that. So that's why I took Matthew Stafford.
Gotcha.
I haven't heard that in a long time. I'll pick that Luter in a riot.
Yeah, right. So, and then the other thing is like my wide receivers. Like, Aaron Rodgers would have a great day with Garrett Wilson. Not Zach Wilson.
Garrett Wilson did catch that touchdown to himself, though.
Right.
Very impressive.
Then CeeDee Lamb.
He's good.
Right.
But Dak isn't.
Right. So see where I have number one guys, but there's always a caveat that makes my guy not as good. I didn't even play Odell Beckham.
Well, we don't know. Lamar didn't play well.
Right. So that's where I am.
Who do they got this week?
They got the Bengals in an interesting game.
And I got like, and then my other guys, because it sucks. I had the second pick in the draft, and that's great for the first round. But sucks because you got to go how many picks before you get a pick again?
How many people in your draft?
What do we have?
In your league? 10? 12?
More than that, I think.
More than
12
that?
is the most, right?
Well,
we got the max.
Some people have 14, but 12 is the most.
I think it's either 12 or 14.
Yeesh.
So I go one pick, and then I got a snake all the way down to like the end of the second round.
Yeah, but you pick early in the third.
Yeah, but still. You have to understand that all of the certain players are gone.
Yeah, we've done a lot of talking about your fantasy team.
Yeah, it doesn't look like your fantasy team.
I would like. Let's get to some more of Mike McDaniel.
Not selling anyone
because he said something that I want to get to.
What were you so interested in?
So they were talking about the defense,
and
he said he talked to Fangio, and he said there was a lot of freelancing. Right?
Fang said that, or Mike McDaniel said that?
That's what Fangs told Mike McDaniel.
Yeah.
Freelancing. And here's what I would say about that. Is that athletes are competitors, however you want to put it. So if you go to Christian Wilkins and say the reason why we ain't paying you this number is because you don't have the sacks, then what is he going to go out and do? Get more sacks. Now, you're asking him to play a position in this defense that's not going to get the numbers that he would get in the previous years because they were more active.
Okay.
You know, games and stunts and blitzes, stuff like that. So because you ask him to do something different, now his value is going to even decrease because of what you asked him to do, not because of how good he is.
You're assuming that it was Christian Wilkins who was freelancing?
I'm just saying. This is what I'm not saying it was him. I'm just using him as an example of why you have to take care of your guys.
Okay.
Because you're asking him to do something that's different. And he's not going to get the numbers at the end of the year. Now, when we see stats at the end of the year, we're not going to care that he played in a different defense. All we're going to look at is the numbers and say, oh, he didn't do as well as he did last year.
Yeah, but I mean, like, I would say Christian Wilkins isn't really a numbers guy anyway. Like, that's
but the numbers is why he's not getting paid.
No, the sacks aren't why he's not getting paid.
So, okay, so what if instead of him trying to do what he's supposed to do, he go out and try to get more sacks?
I don't know.
You're asking for it.
But do you feel like when you watch that game, did you feel like that was the case?
No, I think Christian Wilkins was being Christian Wilkins. Like, he's an active, energetic guy that's always going to be on the move and play all around the field. He's very mobile and athletic, and he does a lot of things. Okay, but if you don't reward him for that and you question, well, we can't pay you like this guy because of certain numbers, are you going to be mad at Christian Wilkins if he starts caring about the numbers more than what you see what I mean? So what I'm saying is the Dolphins are doing this to themselves.
I don't know, but you know who I didn't see in that game yesterday, once again in his Dolphins career, who would like to, make an arrival at any point he'd like to, because he did get paid, is Bradley Chubb.
Yeah, that's weird, isn't it?
Where is he?
That's weird. I see that
because
number
that's a
two.
Fangs guy.
Hey, I see that number 2 lined up outside. Now, here's the crazy part.
Mm-hmm.
The outside guys get flexibility. They can do what they want.
Mm-hmm.
It's the inside guys that don't. So you pay Zach Sealer. So you ask Zach Sealer, just go up there and hold guys out. He'll be like, okay, cool. I got paid. But now say that to Christian Wilkins. And I'm not saying this is happening with Christian Wilkins. I'm just saying you are setting yourself up for things like this to happen because you don't take care of your guys.
Well, I would like it if I'm looking at the tackle totals from this last game, and I think it'd be nice if both of these safeties weren't the leading tackles this time around.
You need somebody on the inside. Ideally, you want all your linebackers to lead.
Yeah.
Right?
Both of the safeties.
Holland, and not have Austin Eckler just go crazy.
Holland and Deshaun Elliott. Then you had Jalen Phillips. Wilkins had 3 tackles. And we've seen him have big tackle games.
But again, it's tough, man. I wouldn't wish this on anybody what Christian Wilkins is going through.
Mm-hmm.
It's a mental thing that you have to. Okay, so here's what happens. You're asking him to be a team player and do what's asked of him.
Mm-hmm.
And then as soon as the season's over with, you're going to say, we can't pay you because your numbers dropped. It's a terrible spot to be in. You see what I mean? And you would hope that the team would understand what you're asking them to do and pay him.
Yeah, I don't know, man. I don't think that he's, first of all, I think it was just an all-around bad defensive effort.
I don't think it was just now, keep in mind, I'm not saying Christian Wilkins is doing this. I'm saying as a player.
Yeah.
Right? If they tell me, right, hey, we'd love to give you some money, but you don't score that many touchdowns. So guess what I'm going to try to do? Score more touchdowns.
Yeah, I get you.
But guess what? Instead of taking a 3 or 4 or 5 yard gain, I'm going to dance around and try to find and take it to the house.
No, I definitely
and then
get
you
that.
end up hurting yourself even more.
I definitely get that. I just think that, I do think that there is room for, hey, they do have a good line. They do have a good backfield. I'd like to not see that bust right up the gut with the 50 yards like Austin Eckler had. That was embarrassing. But, if we're going to give teams this opportunity, I'm not giving them the whole damn year because I think of this as a defense with a lot of talent.
Mm-hmm.
So I would definitely like to see things tightened up because I do think that you're looking this week at a less explosive team, and don't have as many weapons as the Chargers do. So they better do better this week.
I think they will, because when you watch film and they'll point out from the standpoint of the team who's doing what, right? And when they do it in film, they don't do it to embarrass you, right? They do it to let you and your peers know who is the guy letting us down for whatever reason, right? I just think as an organization, as good of a player as Christian Wilkins has been, as much of a team guy as he's been and a leader, you really put him in a bad spot because now he's sacrificing so much more. Because if maybe, and again, I don't know if this is true, but I'm just saying, if I'm looking at it from if I was in Christian Wilkins' position, if you're asking him to do something totally different, right? And he may not get the numbers he got last year, are you then going to penalize him when it's time to negotiate a contract? Most teams will. And that's a tough spot to be in.
But again, that also depends on what he's seeing. If he's seeing himself as a Chris Jones that should reset the market or whatever he was looking for. We don't know what they offered.
I don't know.
That's the thing.
I talked to Omar. Nobody really knows because, here's what teams do, right? They may put the number out there, and I told you it was coming, indicate, we offered him, but it's not about the years, the number per year, it's the guarantees.
Yeah, I got you.
And so that's, I think, what they were fighting over. So, yeah, man, I just think he is an important piece, and I think that if they had taken care of him, then he'd feel much better not worrying about numbers and worrying about what his responsibilities are in defense. Not saying that he's not, okay, because I really don't know, and I'm a Christian Wilkins guy. I'm not putting him out there like that. But I know for me, if they came to me and said, we can't pay you because you don't do this, then as a competitor, I'm going to go on the field and try to do this. And really, they're asking me to do something different.
Daniel Rabinowitz and Brian Monroe will get you going.
Do you realize that all of the stars, most of the stars are over 35?
Most of the stars,
like
over
the guys who,
35?
except AD. Well, AD is like, you can't get mad at AD. He ain't took a.
I don't think most of the stars are 35. It's just LeBron, right?
It's only LeBron.
No, LeBron. How old is Dame?
Dame's 33.
Jimmy's 34.
Yeah.
Okay.
I think LeBron, but they're getting there.
They're getting
They're
there.
getting there, just not there yet.
Right.
KD, I think, is still 34. I think KD's 34. So not there yet, dude. But Fangs has been at the podium. And Fangs, according to Barry Jackson, in ongoing press conference, Fangio being hard on himself for the run defense against the Chargers. Quote, I didn't have the guys ready to play the game they're capable of playing. I didn't do a good job of preparing them for the run game. He said the bottom line was, quote, it was good enough to win a shootout, but not good enough to win a lot of games. Fangs stepping up, taking accountability. That's what Fangs does, dude. The old love accountability.
But listen, I'm going to tell you like this. Take it from somebody who knows. When a coach takes responsibility like that, all hell's going to break loose behind closed doors.
Do you want to hear Mike McDaniel on Bill Belichick?
Yeah. All
right. So Mike McDaniel, whippersnapper in the coaching game as a head coach. Bill Belichick been doing it a while. He had a couple points yesterday on his respect for the Patriots head coach going into this week 2 matchup.
It is amazing to me, and I hope one day I could even sniff this. It's amazing that the orchestration of the defense is so consistent, so fundamentally consistent and sound. The strain, very, very detailed, and the leader of the ship was on at the same job when we were all like, what's an iPod? Like, that's so, I mean, it is not, and the coolest part about what they do is it's not because they're entitled, because they are, it's because they work at stuff. You can really see it. And they have very strong and consistent technique and fundamentals that you can tell that from the top down, and all the coaches on the defensive side, that it's non-negotiable.
Non-negotiable. Keeps it going. Here's a little bit more of McCoachin on Bill Belichick.
They are unique in what they do, and that's a testament to, from an X's and O's standpoint, one of the founding fathers of this generation of football. So it's pretty cool to watch. Great challenge, and that's what you want. You want to be challenged week in, week out with different things, because again, you're preparing to try to be the best version of yourself against the best teams when it matters most.
Damn, called him old.
He is old.
Called him old as hell, though.
Think about this.
Founding father?
Wait, think about this.
That's old.
Wait,
that's a little bit much.
Bill Belichick came
bit
into the league as a head coach younger than Mike McDaniel. Yeah. So, and he's been coaching before that.
Yeah, he was a coordinator.
Yes. So you go from 36 or 37 to now. That's a long time. He's been a head coach a long time.
Founding father, though, that's a little bit much for Mike McDaniel. I know
he was. What's funny?
Calling him Lombardi.
He's one of the few coaches that was considered a guru when he was a coordinator, and still people treat him that way because of what he does defensively. with all of his teams.
Yeah, always know take away your best weapon.
Right. That's the crazy thing is that usually head coaches who become head coaches from being a coordinator, whatever, they usually have to relinquish that power or whatever because they have so much more to do.
Right.
He's always been that guy who's been pulling the strings defensively. I would say this. Here's what I think. Bill Belichick is not going to take a player away. He's going to take an area of the field away. And I think he's going to do whatever he can to keep bodies in the middle of the field. Right? That's what he's going to do.
I mean, that's what that's essentially what LA tried to do last year.
Right.
It's not
they just sat everybody in between the numbers.
But,
No, I'm not saying it's going to work.
Good luck.
I'm not saying it's going to work. But if the Chargers would have taken away the middle of the field, you take almost 100, 150 yards worth of passing away from Tua.
Well, Tua lives there. That's where he lives. But he also, you don't think anybody else has had this genius notion to take away the middle of the field from him? He's he's got.
Here's what they do.
Try and do it, but here's the thing that's like you say, he's a cat burglar.
Here's what they do though. Here's what the Dolphins do to counteract that. Who's going to be in the middle, and where they're going to come from, right? And that's the trick. That's the trick where you determine where the defense is going to be instead of the defense determining what they're going to take away from you. Because the great thing about defense, you know how they say quarterback, if you look the wrong way or you're looking at the wrong stuff, you can't be productive. Well, the same thing goes for defense. Because we have plays where a guy will run a route or a guy will go in motion, and we call it eye candy. Because we know the defense is going to react to it, but it really doesn't mean anything. Now you got to determine as a defense which part of this play means something and which part is a decoy. Now, send that all in and think one side you got Jalen Waddle, the other side you got Tyreek Hill. Now figure that out at the speed at which they're going. Right? Look the wrong way. Here comes Tyreek across the middle.
Best thing in the sport right now.
Right. Tyreek's going deep. Oh, no, Jalen Waddle's coming across the middle. Now you got Durham Smythe that you're just dumping balls to, and he's getting 4 or 5 catches. That's not counting. They haven't really run any screens yet.
No.
What if they start running screens with all those guys? Here comes a guy in motion over the back. The Dolphins run an offense where it's very unique, even the motion that they run, right? Very rarely, most of the time when you run same side motion, it's the outside guy coming in. Very rarely do you have a guy inside going out. It just, even as an offensive player, it just looks
like
weird.
Chaos when he's
right.
When you just see him in there.
But if it looks like chaos, and that's the way the defense looks at it, you have them right where you want them because it's not chaos to you, right? You do a lot of these things so it becomes clearer for your team and for your quarterback to know what the reads are and what they have to do. And a lot of times when it gets too cluttered and too confusing, the defense will back out and go base defense.
Here is Tua. This is Tua Tagovailoa on that bum who used to be his water boy, Mac Jones. Another match.
I know that Mac's a competitor. I know that he's going to want to make things right. So it's a no-brainer for me that regardless of the outside talk, that he's going to be himself, that he's going to go out there and do all he can to help his team win. But yeah, Bama on Bama. That's what happened last week with Jalen and Mac, and then Mac's got to go again, Bama on Bama. So, we'll see. It'll be fun.
We should have dubbed last week Tua's backup bowl.
Oh, Herbert.
No.
Hurts versus Mac Jones.
Yeah.
Oh, that was. You're right. Week 1.
Yep.
Mac Jones. God.
Good luck, Mac.
They're still selling that. I can't believe
I'm telling you, his ceiling's just as high as Tua's.
Right here. Like
you just give him the weapons.
He'll be as good.
He'll be
that is. That's Boston Tobin.
What?
Yeah.
Oh, get out of here, dude.
Really?
Point. I don't like that. I don't like that.
I love the way, but I love the way.
I don't like that.
Let me tell you something. You're my boy.
I'm right.
I
though.
love the way you say things about other people making comments in their city.
I don't like that.
And you basically do the same thing
I don't
here.
do the same thing.
You do.
No, I call it like I see it. And when it's right, I say the thing that's right. When it's wrong, I won't say something ridiculous. Give me the most ludicrous thing I said.
Jacket.
What have I said?
Jacket.
What have I said that's so crazy?
Wait.
Even the stop clock is right twice a day.
Okay, dude. You know, for a clock, you might as well put me in there. I'm right all the time. All the time, dude. I don't know how many time zones I must be hitting then, because it seems like I'm on time a lot.
Shut up, because we were in a place you didn't even know about time zones.
I was unaware that Dallas was Central Time. It really threw me off.
Wait, J-Fig, I was looking at this guy and he was so dumbfounded at the time. Like we literally sat in the middle of the Dallas airport about to fight because he was confused about the time. Hey, what why? Like, dude, let's go.
But dude, I'm not the same as Boston.
You
so don't say
are.
that. No, I'm not.
You are.
I'm not.
You are.
They're sitting here and they have the audacity to say that Mac Jones has a higher ceiling than Tua, when nobody in the history of football of any level
Nobody thinks that
has ever thought that Mac Jones. If he
correct,
did, Mac Jones would play in front of Tua.
Correct. And here's the other thing. And this is what I hate, right? And I say this to people. You realize that if everybody thought Mac Jones could excel in this position, they would have drafted Mac Jones. Right? Like, that's just like, oh, he's perfect for our system. He's perfect for this. He's perfect for that.
Kyle Shanahan did.
Mac Jones wasn't even a thought ever in Miami. Ever. In fact, most people thought he was going to get drafted in the second round.
People were stunned.
Right.
Like what Vlad's talking about with that whole thing, like the 49ers were basically embarrassed out of not taking him, reportedly. Like they wanted Mac Jones, and then they're like, really? We're going to trade up for Mac Jones?
John Lynch didn't want him. That's what it was.
Yeah, remember he was supposed to be the second pick, right?
That was
supposed
the
to be
thought.
the third pick.
He might have worked out better than what they had.
No, that's the problem.
I mean, tough to work out worse.
Right.
Tough to work out worse.
But I mean, yeah, it's we always assume one of the things that I've always been grateful for, right? Throughout my career, high school, college, the NFL, I never had to play a different style of football other than I had played my whole life. And people take that for granted, but it actually worked out great for me because I just could be me, right? However I played football, I could just go. I didn't have to try to do something I couldn't do. I didn't have to try to just go be you. Well, we live in a world now where fans and analysts will say, just imagine if we had this guy. Or they say, hey, what if Mac Jones was in Miami and Tua was in Boston?
What a nightmare.
We would be saying the same things about Mac right now.
Imagine if the Patriots,
no, you wouldn't, because of this reason.
If Tua was in,
Tua has always been accurate.
Let me tell you something right now. If Tua was in New England right now, it would be another decade of dominance from New England. Thank God he's not in New England. Thank God he's not in New England. If you told Bill Belichick today you could do it, how fast does he make that trade?
I don't think Tua and Belichick would have worked together.
Why?
Because Brian Flores and Tua didn't work together. And Flores is a Belichick ripoff.
Curmudgeon potato.
Exactly.
But here's the deal. Here's what I would say.
Josh McDaniels there with Tua.
Here's what I would say about Bill Belichick, right? You may think he's a curmudgeon. You may think this and you may think that. But if there's some talent there, he'll make it work, right? He ain't one of them guys that's going to try to make a square peg fit in a round hole, right? He's gonna use that talent and bring the most out of that talent.
They're about to get Deion's reaction to this whole controversy from old Jay Norvell, because Deion's about to be on First Take.
What did Jay Norvell say?
I'll play the sound when we come back. He took pot shots. Took pot shots at Deion, basically telling him to take his hat and glasses off when he goes and does media.
Who is he?
He's the Colorado State head coach.
Exactly. Who's he?
Yeah.
Dude, Deion has more football in his pinky than you have in your life. No, that's a fact.
No, it's a fact.